Hello, everyone. We're back with Edu Protocols, and this week, Nacho Paragraph. And I love this one because it's like not your paragraph, but nachos, because nachos are amazing. So with this activity, you will have a paragraph, and it's not your paragraph, or it's not the students, and the students will revise a paragraph that's not theirs. It doesn't belong to them at all. And then the teacher, you will send those to your students. And I love the idea that Kim Vogie has with a checklist. So the students know exactly what they're looking for with these corrections and revision. Another idea is that you could share a class spreadsheet, and then the kids pick a paragraph that's not theirs. And then they work on the grammar and writing that is right in front of them. So two different ways. You can already have like a paragraph picked out for your students, or you can have your students look over a spreadsheet that has like all your students writing. Maybe they fill out a Google form first and then they do it. But it just kind of allows you to see their examples. And on this slide deck that Kim has are resources. And again, I love Kim Vogie. She is amazing. But you can see here is the paragraph. That is not your paragraph. And the kids just copy it and then they correct it. And I love how they also like bold, they change it in red, and then they use these like check marks to show that they have done these different things that are on her checklist that are looking for revising. And this is another great example of using emoji prompts, which we'll talk about on another video with like the emoji paragraph type of Edu protocol. So we will talk about that later, but you can just see here that the students had emojis and they had to write a story about it. So then the students had a huge spreadsheet of all their different work. And then the other student had to find a paragraph that's not your paragraph. And then they had to make corrections. So they had to go in and correct different things. They had to add 3 verbs to make them stronger. They had to add 5 adjectives and they had to color them. And so you can just see real quick what the students had to do. Okay, here's a blank template. So again, she puts emojis here. The student writes them. They can submit them on a Google Sheet, and then the students would revise that paragraph. Right, here's another one. This one was just like a random writing. So every single student maybe got this as an entrance ticket walking in the door, and then they had to correct it. And so in this box, they had to fix the run-on sentence. They had to add 4 adjectives, add 2 adverbs, and all that kind of stuff. And they also had to underline the nouns in this paragraph. Right here is just another example. So we've got 2 different groups, group A and B, and then they revise the other group's paragraph. And so then students are fixing the spelling errors, they're adding 5 adjectives and they're coloring them green. They're making the adverbs italic, they're bolding the verbs, and so on. So just another really great example of using emojis with not your paragraph and making those corrections. Here's a step-by-step instructional guide. If you wanted to use maybe a Google form, so maybe you want to use this type of Google form with your students. And so you would have the students put in their name, maybe you open up the emoji generator, and then you show them that first emoji. Students start writing their first sentence, you add another emoji, they write another paragraph, another sentence, then you add another one, and then you keep going for about 5 emojis. Once you have all of those emojis shown, kids reread their paragraphs and then they submit them. Then you'll have a whole Google Sheet, and as a teacher, you could paste these onto Socrative. So Socrative is another really great way of engaging your students with Not Your Paragraph. And so on Socrative, you can copy and paste these paragraphs that are on the Google Sheet, and then the students as a group can respond to the different prompts by using a code, and then they can make those corrections. And then you can have a whole group discussion about their Not Your Paragraph and the corrections that they made. So those are just some really fun examples on using Socrative. And then here's like step-by-step instructions for having the students get to Socrative. So then they go to Student Socrative and they add their updated list. So thank you, Heather, for that great idea of using Socrative. And then the final idea is using Not Your Paragraph with Not Your Problem. So math people are like, I don't know how I could use this. You can with Not Your Problem. So with Not Your Problem, students will respond and they'll correct some type of math problem that does not belong to them. So they're going to look over some work that a student did, and maybe the teacher selects the problem and sends it to the students, or maybe the teacher can share all the problems that the class has done and they pick random ones and they give feedback on how the students did. So they're really looking at different ideas on what this could look like and how they can fix that type of writing for the students. So just another really great way of using Not Your Paragraph in math, but also using it in writing. All right, well, thank you so much for joining today. Just a reminder that all these resources about 15 minutes after this session will be added to this Wakelet, and you will be able to review, make copies of any of these resources, but also share out what you are creating with these Edu protocols. We would love to see templates, so make sure you do tag Gold EDU LLC on Twitter with all of those amazing resources. And you can see here all of the past sessions as well, and you can go back and explore and use those resources as well. All right, guys, have a great night.